Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be me doing a book review. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm a bit rusty. And the book that I'm planning to review today is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I chose this book, number one, for my June TBR, and second, it's because I just wanted to see whether the book lived up to the hype. So let's get into my review. So I'm going to do this review and divide it into the cawpile method. So there's CAWPILE, cawpile. So the first one is characters. So characters, I give it a 9 out of 10. And this is because I put in my notes, Aiden and Vanessa are both fun characters to read on. I just didn't like Vanessa at first because I felt like she talked too much. Like she was such an anxious person. But for my taste as a female main character, FMC. But after some self-reflection, after I put thought into it, I sat down and I really reflected. I realized that the reason why I didn't like Vanessa was not because of her as a character, was because of myself. I had some inner turmoil, some inner hate to go through, and I was projecting it on her because Vanessa as a character and her personality wise is very similar to mine, that I'm just kind of like, I don't like her. And then after I realized that this is some self-hate going on, I start liking Vanessa more because I realized that, okay, the self-hate that I have shouldn't be projected on this character that has done nothing to me. So I should take this character and view her and review her properly, in a neutral lens. You know? So yeah, once I have realized that the reason I dislike her was because she's too similar to myself, I took a back seat and I was just like, okay, Vanessa did nothing wrong. Next is, in terms of Aiden, there's nothing much that I can say. His character is very Duke of the North, very cold, very distant, aloof. There's nothing much I can say about his character except it plays off well with Vanessa's character, where she's the golden retriever and he's the black cat energy. So there's nothing much I could say. It plays off well. Although I do have to say, is he neurospicy coded? Is he neurodivergent? Because the things that he does is very succinct. He likes what he likes. He doesn't like change, and he does things that are very neurodivergent-ish. I don't know what type of neurodivergent. I'm not a psychotherapist, psychologist, nor psychiatrist. I don't know the difference. So I don't know, but he does seem very neurodivergent coded. I do like the side characters though. Usually the side characters are very meh for me. They just feel kind of they're just there to fill the plot. But I feel like Zach, who is the main side character in this book, he has his own character. He's very different from our main character, that it's fun to read. His interactions with Vanessa. So I like that. And I can't wait to read his book. I think his book is, I can't remember which one is his book, but I do have it on my Kindle. So atmosphere, I give it a 7 out of 10. And this is because I'm Malaysian. I'm from Miri. I have no idea how American football works. I have a rough, maybe understanding. Actually, no, I have no idea, okay? I'm just confused why it's called football when it obviously looks like rugby. So, because football in Malaysia is like the ball, you kick it, you don't catch it. But then it's rugby here, so I'm just confused. But that's fine. And honestly, it's the setting is contemporary romance. What can I say about the atmosphere? It's I vibe with it. Do I know everything about it? No, because I'm Malaysian. I have never been to the United States or Canada or even watched an American football competition before. So I'm just vibing, just vibing. Next is the writing. So the writing, I give it a 10 out of 10. And this is because I really enjoyed the writing. It was easy enough to digest, and Vanessa's dialogue and inner monologue cracked me up by how funny she is. And reading this, I never felt like the dialogue was too cringe, and neither was it too try hard. Side note, I really need to stop writing my review half asleep, because look at this, like, what's going on? Anyways, so the next point in writing is like all the plot beats within the book flowed easily between chapters. I didn't feel like it was too disjointed. Like, it just flowed well. It was not disjointed. It didn't feel out of place, you know? So I liked the writing. It kept me hooked. Yes, I did say at the start it was really hard for me to read because I didn't like Vanessa. But like I said previously, after I figured out that it was just a self-hate thing going on, I started liking the book and I just devoured it within a few days. So the plot, I give it a 7 out of 10, and the reason for this is I felt like the pacing was good, but I also felt like this book was too long when it didn't have to be that long. Like, the book was, I think, 400 plus pages, almost 500, and to be quite honest with you, it could have been cut down to like 300 or 400 max. I think the book was 500 pages. It could be 150 pages less, you know? I just felt like for a contemporary romance, it was just too long for no reason, you know? Like, all of the scenes, as much as I like them, I just felt like, okay, this is cute, but it's a bit repetitive. It's like, I get it. It's trying to be cute. It's trying to make the slow burning. But it's like, after I reached the 400th page, I was like, okay, we still have at least 100 to 150 pages more. When will this end? So, yes. Next is, the main issue I do have with the plot is the sex scene at the end. Because it's like, I've been reading this book for like 500 pages. They've only kissed. They haven't had any type of hanky-panky going on. And by the time the hanky-panky does go on, or does happen, and I'm excited for it, because I'm like, oh, finally, they're gonna bang. This is gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot and heavy. And when I read it, I was just like, she's asleep? And don't get me wrong, like, Aiden did not do anything, like, untowards. It's just that she's asleep, he's cuddling her, and kind of, like, caressing her a bit. She wakes up, and they get hot and heavy. And I'm just like, that's it? That's not hot, nor heavy for me. Because I want her to have the sex fully awake. You know? Like, yeah, she did give consent for him to do anything to her. Like, the whole scene is that she ran a marathon, she's tired, she took a nap, and then, he's cuddling her, and then she woke up, and they start getting hot and heavy. So he's not doing anything untowards. I just feel like the amount of pages I've been reading to get to this banging session, because you have to understand, the whole book, we're playing on the sexual tension, the chemistry here. And then so it's been like taunting me. And then by the time I read it, I was like, oh, that's it? You know? So, yeah. Next is, for me, I felt like the plot was quite generic, but it's a genre romance novel, so it makes sense. And the slow burn was quite refreshing to read. I liked how Aiden and Vanessa really took their time to really understand and communicate with each other better. So it's quite refreshing for me to read that, because every time I read like a romance, they're always either insta romance, insta love, and there's a miscommunication trope, which I hate to the core of my being. I hate that trope so much, unless it's done well, but most of the time it's done bad. So I really liked in this book, like, they really communicated with each other. Yes, they both can be petty, but after a while, they're like, you know what? I realize I'm being petty. Let's just talk it out. Which I found refreshing, which is nice. I like that. And another thing is, I quite liked how there was no unnecessary third breakup scene or love triangle. This really shows Aiden and Vanessa's principles and personal values. I wish the book showed more of the epilogue of how they reacted knowing Vanessa is pregnant, how Vanessa would react once her student loans were paid off. Like, that was the whole reason this book was in. Like, this book was written, made, I can't remember. But basically, it's like, she's his PA, and she quit because she wanted to do her own thing. He kept begging her to come back. She said no until he said, like, hey, I'm going to buy you a house. I'm going to pay off your student loans. And she's like, you know what? I'm in. So, wouldn't it be great to like see her reaction to him paying off her student loans? Like, there'll be like some sort of celebration. All I get in the epilogue is them having kids. 2 kids. 2. Which brings me to the next question. How did that happen? You didn't show the pregnancy, both pregnancies. Next thing you know, she's got 2 kids. 2 under 2. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot to process, you know? It's a lot to process. Like, if she has 2 under 2, right, in the epilogue, and then one of the kids is a C-section, and she gets pregnant again under 2 years, then it just makes me think, like, isn't that a bit dangerous? Because as far as I know, like, every gynecologist, I don't know why there was a pause in the gynecologist when I said it, but every one of them really recommend for every mother who has done a C-section to at least give it 2 to 3 years for your body to heal before you get pregnant again. Unless it was an accident, like even when, you know, they have like birth control and everything and she still got pregnant. Because it's like, if you have C-section and under less than a year later, you have another kid, isn't that unsafe? I have a lot of thoughts, but I am not a medical officer. I do not work in the medical field, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I just know that there's a 2-year gap that should be done because your body is not a machine. So, Intrigue. Intrigue, I gave it like an 8 out of 10. And this is because I was heavily invested on when they would confess to each other, because they have done almost everything a couple does except confess. So like I said previously at the start of the book, it was rough for me. Actually, I have no idea why I said this, because this is literally my notes. I said, I was heavily invested on when they would confess to each other, because they have done almost everything a couple would do except confess. Like I said previously, the start of the book was rough for me. And then I didn't continue. I didn't continue at all. Like, it's so obvious that this sentence has a continuation. But what was it? I can't remember. So let's just move on. Logic, I gave it an 8 out of 10. It was okay. Again, I don't know American football. I don't know how it works. I just know American culture through TV. So it's alright. So last is enjoyment. Enjoyment, I gave it a 9 out of 10. And yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. A lot. My feet were like in the air. My toes were twiddling each other. That's how much I liked it and enjoyed this book. So this is my review for The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I really hope you liked the review. I know it's all over the place, but I'm just really bad at reviewing right now because I haven't done it in a while, especially in long form content. I usually give like a bullet point form either on my TikTok or like my Instagram, so it has been a while. And forgive the background. I still have yet to do my bookshelf, you know. So that is it for this review. I hope you like it and see you in the next one.